Welcome to week 5, everyone. Today's session is CRM, Customer Relationship Management. Let's get started. So this week we're going to explore how customer relationship management tools, tactics, and approaches can be used for artists and creators. We're going to investigate the psychology behind the most common sales and marketing tactics and how they can help you motivate your customers to act. Then we'll look at some specific CRM practices and how to get the most out of your plan. We'll see how you can nurture your leads and convert them into customers. And finally, we'll explore loyalty and rewards programs and how you can use them to generate more repeat business. So as I've mentioned, CRM stands for Customer Relationship Management. It most frequently refers to software, but I prefer to look at customer relationship management as a process, and the software tools help you streamline and manage that process. At the end of the day, CRM's purpose is to help you improve your business and marketing practices, which ideally results in better customer experiences, increased customer satisfaction levels, and greater chances for repeat business. CRM accomplishes these practices by managing your customer interactions and organizing them all in one convenient place. So after everything we've gone through so far in all of our sessions, I'm sure at this point the last thing you want to hear is yet another piece of software that you need to learn and manage. But as I mentioned, CRM is not just software, it's a process for organizing and leverage everything you're doing to attract and retain your customers. 3 really important metrics by which CRM success can be measured include the following. Shift, which is where you actually attract new customers. This is the process of convincing them to shop with you instead of someone else. Lift is where you increase your sales volume. In retail terms, one of the key drivers of lift is increasing your shopper's average basket size. And frequency, which is primarily the process of increasing repeat visits from past customers. These are 3 very important metrics. So the sales funnel is a core concept in sales strategy. It defines your customer's journey from awareness to an actual sales conversion. Different industries have slightly different funnels, but for artists and creators who rely heavily on social media, this funnel is a good reference and starting point. The primary goal of CRM is to guide your prospects from one stage to another. Over the past few weeks, there's been a method to the madness since we've actually been walking you through these various steps, including defining and refining your brand, communicating your unique brand story, and defining your brand position. We've explored tactics on how to reach more prospects and increase followers. We've also touched on how to use boosted posts and social ads to direct users to your website or your catalog or your product page. We also talked about how to set up your e-commerce store and complete customer transactions. And so today we're going to explore some specific tactics to not only convert customers, but to create long-lasting repeat business. So let's say now you're getting some customer engagement and you're getting some visitation to your website. The big question is, if I'm getting this traffic, how do I convince prospective customers to actually follow through with the transaction? How to buy something from me? Well, there are some tried and true tactics based on human behavior that are frequently used by the world's most successful marketers. We're going to examine 5 of those tactics in the next few slides to help you increase your conversions. These concepts are reciprocity, social proof, scarcity, foot in the door, framing, and decoy. So let's go through these one by one. The concept of reciprocity in social psychology is that if I do something positive for you, then you're more likely to do something positive in return for me. As artists, there are things you can do to use the reciprocity principle. You can provide free content on your blog, for instance, or you can keep your customers inspired through something like a regular newsletter. A subset of the reciprocity principle is this concept of surprise rewards. In other words, reciprocity in reverse. In other words, you do something nice in exchange for a customer's business. Studies suggest that surprise rewards can increase customer loyalty and increase repeat business. Consider providing an unexpected bonus, a gift, a discount, or other reward as a thank you for their business and to continue that customer relationship. When shoppers are looking for products, they almost always rely on the opinions of other shoppers. Studies suggest that more than 90% of consumers are heavily influenced by online reviews, for instance. Social proof can take a lot of different forms, including expert approvals, customer testimonials, any awards or accolades, product reviews, and influencer or celebrity endorsements. Scarcity is the psychological principle where shoppers place higher value on items that are harder to obtain. Scarcity marketing tactics create a consumer concern that they're going to miss out on an opportunity. The concept of scarcity in marketing can be accomplished through showing that unique items have already been sold, by showing or demonstrating that there are a limited number of items still available, or providing exclusive or upgraded access to members of a club or insiders or VIPs. And we'll speak a little bit more about this concept later on in the session. The foot in the door tactic may or may not apply to your business based on your individual products. This technique is based on the principle that you can more easily convert customers if you start off small. So again, depending on your products or your offerings, these tactics can include free samples or swatches. Although we know that free samples can be a bit of a slippery slope, you don't want to devalue your products and services. In ad campaigns to new prospects, you could start by featuring less expensive items first. You could also lower barriers to conversions by promoting price ranges and products that are at the lower end of your product pricing, as opposed to more premium offerings or prices. Framing techniques are about positioning your products to increase the overall shopping basket size. It builds on the concept that shoppers inherently want a deal and don't like missing out on opportunities if one is being presented. It's also based on the psychological theory called loss aversion. People don't like to lose what they've earned or what is just within their grasp. You'll need to be careful with this tactic because you don't want to negatively impact your brand or negatively impact the perceived value of your products. An effective example of this tactic is to offer free shipping, for instance, within a particular geographic area for a minimum order value. Other strategies and tactics include free gifts at certain minimum order sizes, discounts for minimum order sizes, event-based promotions, which may be time sensitive, such as things like a client's birthday or your business's birthday or anniversary, the birth date of a famous artist that you admire, or an artist or creative who has helped inspire your work. So there's a lot of different ways that you can package your promotions and include that time-sensitive nature. So that covers some of the core marketing psychology tactics that are used frequently in the space, and many or most of us don't realize that these types of tactics are being used on us, but they're all very useful and very effective. Anytime we shop, we were being influenced by these and other tactics. Here are a number of operational activities and tactics to set the foundation for a good CRM strategy. First, you'll want to develop and maintain your customer database. Keeping contact information up to date is really critical. In the same vein, it's important to keep a purchase history of customers to identify things like sales trends, when you're achieving repeat business, and also identify upsell opportunities. You'll want to use and leverage your analytics on your website and in your ad channels to gain insights into what's working and what's not working. As you roll out campaigns and learn more about your customers' behavior, you may want to revisit your buyer personas and determine whether you need to add new ones or modify existing ones. And finally, you'll want to map out some of your processes, such as customer greetings, email follow-ups, and so forth, so you can automate those processes whenever possible. Nurturing leads is critical to your business's success because how you engage your prospects will directly impact their decision to do business with you versus doing business with someone else. It's that concept of shift that we touched on earlier. There are lots of different channels to nurture your leads, including the old-fashioned direct approach where you engage a customer one-on-one through any manner of direct channels. That method is very time-consuming and resource-intensive, however. It doesn't scale. We know that most of you are independent producers who are trying to do everything on your own, so that's why we're going to talk about channels that you can use and automate the follow-up process to a large extent. These include email marketing and retargeting. So email is still among the most commonly used methods for the customer follow-up. Email marketing automation is basically the act of sending a series of timed emails to each of your prospects. CRM and email marketing tools allow you to create email templates and automated deployment schedules. We've all experienced email marketing automation. For instance, when you fill out an online form or join a loyalty program or sign up for a newsletter, you typically receive an email within a few moments after you've submitted your form. Those are examples of email automation. The basic moving parts of an email marketing strategy include your email sequence. This is when you work out the communication steps, beginning with the welcome, and then build towards specific promotions as you move through them in the sales funnel. The next one is the schedule. This is when you schedule out your email from each step as they go out to your prospects. And then finally, tracking. This allows you to determine whether or not an email was opened or if a prospect clicked on a link that you included in the email or the body of the email. And then based on the results of these tactics, then you can modify your strategy and move forward to the next phase. Here's a simple example of a possible nurturing sequence when a new prospect signs up for your newsletter. The first email is an automated welcome message that introduces you and your brand story. This email would also include a link to the content they signed up for. Your workflow could include logic to determine whether or not a prospect has clicked on an entry in your previous email. If they didn't, that could change the tone and approach of your next follow-up. In the third example, the message's tone changes and becomes a bit more conversational. This might assume that someone has clicked on a link in one of your two previous emails. This one also includes links to wider ranges of content that could help gauge interest in other areas of your business. So overall, this is just a high-level example, and you'll definitely have a better idea of how to engage your customers in a similar conversation sequence. I'd also like to note that there are no standards for the timing and duration of introductory emails and then the sequence in follow-ups in the overall campaign workflow. But most email marketers agree to send out these first three welcome messages over the span of about a week. And then you would follow up with a fourth about a week later, a fifth at about the 1 month mark, and then a follow up of about one per month as you move forward. And this would be something like a part of a regular blog or a newsletter posting schedule. I'm sure you've all searched for something or visited a website, browsed the web, and then suddenly noticed that you're being presented with ads about all the stuff that you were just browsing. So you're not going crazy. And although it's a little spooky, it's actually the result of an advertising process called retargeting or remarketing. At its most basic level, retargeting is an advertising strategy in which ads are shown to customers who visited your website but have typically left without buying anything. Here's how it works. Google and Facebook need to capture information about the pages viewed by your website visitors. To do that, they provide a little piece of code that you add to your website. Hosted services like Wix, Squarespace, Shopify, etc., they have a tab in their admin panel so you can add the tracking code, which is called the global tag in Google, and it is called the pixel in Facebook. Once that's installed, you can set up your campaigns in Facebook Ads Manager and in Google Ads. When you deploy your retargeting campaign, the update is almost instantaneous. Display network ads are those ads in sidebars and banners when you're visiting other sites that have embedded ads like news sites, blogs, and similar sites like that. Facebook ads will show up in a user's feed. We'll visit retargeting again in next week's session when we talk about digital advertising. Studies suggest that shopping carts are abandoned about 70% of the time, but there are strategies to try and recover some of those 7 out of 10 customers who took the time to browse your site and add items to their shopping cart. Again, most hosted solutions like Wix and Squarespace or Shopify have either built-in options to recover abandoned shopping carts or provide plugins to help you reach out to those customers. The implementation process is fairly straightforward. First, you configure your website to respond to abandoned shopping carts. This is done either directly within the service or through a plugin, depending on your service provider. And then you prepare your email template and then schedule the response timing. The industry standard is to try and respond within 24 hours. Here are a few tips for preparing that email. Focus on your products. That's why people were there in the first place. So you may want to talk about current products and perhaps feature some new releases or some premium products that you've got in your catalog. Try and reinforce your reputation as it relates to reliability, customer ratings, things like that. Be sure to include visuals, including your logo and your corporate colors. And finally, try to weave your brand story into your response. Loyalty programs are designed to reward customer behavior that supports your business objectives. Generally speaking, these include repeat business, frequency of customer visits and repeat visits, increase average order size, and that's the basket size that we referred to earlier in retail terms. The two primary types of rewards provided through these programs include points of some sort or VIP treatment, such as access to exclusive products, early access to new products, and other forms of special perks that you provide to VIPs. So this is an example of an off-the-shelf loyalty program that plugs directly into Shopify. It's called Smile and has a lot of core features, which include a points program with rewards for activities like creating an account, placing orders, and leaving reviews. It has its own built-in abandoned cart recovery system with points reminders to entice shoppers back. It also rewards customers for making things like referrals. In other words, you're rewarding your customers through this toolkit to become brand ambassadors for your business. It has a VIP program with special status and perks that you can define yourself, and a number of other tools and features. There are a lot of different types of loyalty programs out there, but I selected this one because of its maturity and its plug-in capability um, to to platforms like Shopify. So here are a few of the top platforms that offer CRM capabilities. I've selected the ones listed here because they all provide a free tier for individuals or small businesses just getting started with CRM. They include HubSpot, Insightly, Monday.com, and Zoho. All these platforms work similarly in that they store customer information, they automate email interactions, they provide analytics and business intelligence, and they all keep track of your opportunities as you move them through your sales funnel. They all have a slightly different interface as well, but again, follow the same general approach to pipeline and sales management. Here are a few screenshots from the HubSpot CRM platform. We've got a screenshot of a contact manager, screenshot of the pipeline manager. So pipeline is a variation on the sales funnel. You can define the steps that move your prospects into paying customers. You've got email integration, which includes the type of automation that we talked about earlier. And they all provide a dashboard where you can analyze your various activities, conversions, and results. So like every week in these sessions, there's a lot of information to absorb and a lot of information to unpack. And in this case, it's about CRM. And as I mentioned, although the term CRM today generally stands for customer relationship management software, it's really a process for increasing your customer engagement and your customer service levels. At the end of the day, CRM software is designed to keep your sales processes organized, to keep them streamlined, and to automate procedures to help scale your capacity. Depending on your business and your products, your sales pipeline might look a little bit different from someone else's. So, for instance, someone who sells a large volume of smaller items, their pipeline would look different from someone who does larger commissioned pieces. The key takeaways here are you want to keep track of your customers. You want to engage them from the initial point of contact and nurture that relationship with the goal of turning them into customers. And finally, it's just as important to keep engaging those customers you've converted as it is to seek out new ones. These include tactics that involve newsletters, email, and loyalty campaigns. So this week, we want you to try out one of the CRM platforms we discussed. So select one and sign up for a trial or a free tier. Add some customers to a managed customer list. Using a template, either set up an automated welcome email or schedule your first outbound email to your customers. Please keep in mind that this needs to be existing customers who have agreed to sign up and receive communications from you. Thank you. This completes our 5th session, which covers customer relationship management. I hope it helps you refine your sales processes and increases your conversions. Thanks for your attention, and we will see you next week at our next and final session.